Blind Nil Audio.
I just want to be in a room with the people that I admire. Then I'll know where I'm supposed to be. Success to me wasn't money. It was being respected by the people that I admire. And you were one of them.
Thank you.
And I tell everybody that. It's like, look for the people that you admire. Look for the people that you want to model yourself after. What are they doing? How are they doing it? And if you could get in the same rooms as them and they respect you, I mean, that's the game changer.
Welcome to Stronger. Today, my guest is Kenny Santucci. Kenny is one of the top trainers working in New York City today, and he's the founder of one of my favorite annual fitness events, Strong New York, which is happening this year on September 27th. I'm Don Saladino. Let's get stronger with Kenny Santucci. Thanks for coming, man.
Thank you for having me.
Are you kidding me? So, I think I was saying to you earlier on, it's like, I think this podcast for me really, it's not about followers. Mm-hmm. It's about, like, I've been in this industry now over 26 years. Jesus, getting old, man. I just turned 48.
Still got a great head of hair, though.
Oh, dude, I do. It's starting to gray, though.
Yeah, but still, it's not like moving back.
No, it's not moving back.
I would have a full head of white hair, but I don't want it to fall out.
Yeah. And I'm not going to color it. I decided, I'm like, you know what? Just let it ride,
Just let
man.
it go, yeah.
Just let it go.
It looks good. You pull it off.
Dude, it's good for my ego. So I think this podcast for me was really about the relationships that I've made over my last 2+ decades in the business. They're out of the gate. I think the first, whatever it is, 24 people that are going to come on. They're people that I think I'm really close to, but more importantly, whether they're a superstar in Hollywood or whether they're a gym owner or on the CIA, they have a specific personality and character to them that I think you would agree that if you got into a room with all of them, you'd be like, all right, these are some cool people. Gabrielle, Evie, you'd go on and on. Jay Redman. I mean, these are good people that I think have made a difference. And I called you up early because you and I always had this conversation for the last 10 years. Mm. It's one thing to do it and build a business. But when you're getting into the fitness and wellness space in New York City and you're doing what it is that I did many years before you started it, you're doing now, and you're doing it at a high level. And I'm genuinely proud of you for it, because so many people will go in and they'll attack and they'll build and they'll complain. But early on, even when I saw you kind of getting your head kicked in a little bit, I was like, yeah, but he's kind of enjoying it, which you got to be a sicko in a way. So,
100%.
Kenny Santucci, Kenny is started the Strength Club New York City, right? I'm obviously telling you what you do. I'm letting the audience know, but also started an event called Strong New York, which my podcast is called Stronger. So there's obviously, and Strong New York is it's not just about lifting weights. It's about mindset. It's about nutrition. It's about people. Mm-hmm. And I'm impressed because you started this event, I'm going to guess 7-8 years ago.
This will be the 9th one.
Holy shit. Have I been there every year almost, right? I think.
Almost, yes. Almost like you've been to all the big ones. So it was like early on.
Early on when you had we were all the way on the west side.
Yeah.
So going there, and in the beginning, I'm like, man, this is going to be tough. Last year showing back up, watching you move the room, seeing the brand partners. And in the beginning, I understood what you were trying to do. But I was like, is he going to be able to do it? And then I think last year was the year I saw it kind of come to place. And I'm like, oh, he's turning this into something.
Yeah. And it's been going, knock on wood, it's been going great. Like, I really haven't, everybody's like, oh, you must be killing it. I was like, no, the money, but it was never about the money.
About money.
I was going to so many of these things and I go, I live in the greatest city in the world. How do we not have an event like this?
Out of the gate, if you can create something like that and just break even, in my opinion, out of the gate, that's like the ultimate goal. Yeah. Because what you're doing right now is you're building equity for the future. You're building a name for yourself. You're building a place that people are going to trust. Brands now, that's when you start being able to charge more money. It becomes a business.
Yeah.
But right now, to walk through that room last year and to see, it had to be 2,000 people walking there.
We sold about a little over 3,000 tickets.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
It was incredible. Even the apparel. So balancing that though with running a full-time gym is hard enough.
I have no life but work.
But you love it.
Yeah, I do. I do. And
you love it.
It's a sickness because it's the best and worst thing. Yeah. I put this above everything else.
Yeah.
Every time everybody's like, why aren't you married? I'm like, I would half-ass a marriage and kids so bad, because even last night I had clients this morning at 5:30, but I was up last night and I'm screwing around with AI now because I'm trying to learn how to.
It's addicting.
Oh, it's so addicting.
It's addicting.
Like getting good at the prompts, and the more it starts to learn, the more I'm like, all right, this thing's watching me.
Yeah.
Because it knows exactly what I want. So now I'm playing with it and I'm like, all right, tweak this, tweak that. It talks the way I talk. It's kind of freaky. I mean, I definitely I'm going to rewatch The Terminator a couple more times.
It's all happening.
Yeah.
I got asked a question the other day about things in fitness now that you're excited about. And I'm like, it's going to come to a point where all of this readiness, all these readiness scores that we have, like it's going to turn around and be like, Kenny, this is what you need to do based off your it's literally going to tell you, but there's no replacing the coaching
Human
element.
connection. No.
So I want to move to the gym now because I think that was you actually launched that around a little bit after you launched Strong.
What,
so
the new gym?
Strength Club.
Yeah. So the second gym, I was in the middle of building. Last year was, I don't know why I did it, but we were building the event and the gym at the same time. You know, and I have a very small team. So I literally had to put the gym on the back burner while we were doing Strong. And as soon as Strong was over that following weekend, everybody's like, you should go away. I'm like, no, I got to go out to Jersey.
So now just to reiterate, Kenny's got a gym in New York City and you got a gym in Jersey that probably opened 6 months ago. What was it?
Yeah, about 6 months ago.
Yeah, about 6 months ago.
So I had an opportunity. A friend of mine used to own the gym. And last December, she comes to me and she's like, I want to leave the business. I don't like it anymore. She's like, if you want to take over the lease and everything. I had a couple conversations with the landlord. We kicked the can down the road. And I'm like, I don't want to go back and forth to Jersey. I never really planned to open multiple gyms. I don't know how this is going to go. I don't really, my family lives out there, but I'm like, how am I going to build an audience out there? I can't be there.
It's gutsy.
Yeah. And I'm putting the pieces together on how much it's going to cost me, like what it's going to cost out of pocket and everything. Finally, on July 18th of last summer, I signed the lease. And I'm like, all right, here we go. And you have to have some kind of clear vision of what you want and what you're trying to create. And then as soon as you start to really dial in and truly believe in it, right? Like I dump all my money into this. I dump all my time into this. And other people start to notice this. You've done it. Like I talk about you all the time to everybody. The fact that I could call you a friend, the fact that you have me on this.
Yeah, always.
You are one of the very few, I can't really name any others off the top of my head, that have come into this space and that have done what you've done in the hardest city in the world. But like doing it here and doing it somewhere else,
it's different.
It's different. But
there's a lot to juggle.
But when it comes to, I've obviously had celebrity clientele, other people have. You have done such a good job of creating culture and creating that environment. And I see the way you handle yourself and the things that you've done. And I just try to mimic that.
I appreciate it. You don't need to follow me. It makes me proud because there's not a lot of people doing it. I think people expect these things to happen too quick.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Strength Club is one example, but your event to me impressed me because the first few years, I'll be honest, it felt like you'd show up to an event. It felt a little bit of like a cluster. There's all different things going on. And I'm just kind of like, what's he trying to do here? What's he trying to do here? And then every year it got tighter and it got tighter and it got tighter. And it just shows that sometimes passion and purpose, I believe, is enough. So when I saw you go after the event, I knew you were going after it because of passion and purpose, but it was up until the last year where I turned around and I was like, he did it. Like, and there's not too many people I can say could pull that off.
And I tell people all the time, I'll die before I let this thing fall apart.
And I believe you will.
And one of the stories I like to tell when people ask me about, I did television work and they're like, well, why didn't you see that through? And I tell them it's a very specific moment. I was at, in my early 20s, I started going to UCB. I went there for like 4 years and I enjoyed comedy and helped me get good at hosting and things like that. And I was doing a lot of that and I enjoyed it.
All right. So what is UCB?
UCB was probably the most famous improv studio and comedy school here in the city.
Okay. So that's where people went to kind of work on their craft. And then from there, they go to things like SNL or whatever.
It was like a feeding ground for SNL. And then my agent was like, you should go take acting classes. So I dabbled a little bit. I took some classes. They got me into a couple classes that I really shouldn't have been in. They got me in one. It was a Stella Adler class. And it was like met on Thursday nights or Wednesdays and Thursday nights. It was for the class could go all night because the instructor was like, if you're here, this is the most important thing. You have to burn the boats behind you and go all in on acting. And he kind of said this. I joined like maybe 2-3 weeks into the class. They got me in. And I'm sitting there in the back of the room because I definitely didn't want to be up front. And there's so many beautiful people in this class because everybody who's good looking wants to be an actor and actress here in New York. And then you had a couple of people who were like, all right, this is a huge personality. You know, they're probably not that attractive, but they're really good at this craft.
Sure.
One by one, he's inviting people up and they're crying like on command. Like they're just like, he wanted you to tell this monologue and start to cry. And I'm looking around the room. I'm like, are all these motherfuckers going to start crying here? Like, I don't know if I haven't cried since my grandmother died. I don't know if I could do this. And in that moment, I realized that these people all want to act. I don't really give a shit to act. So I walked out that day and I'm like, at least I tried it. And I tell everybody that, you know, my nephew's now 17, 18 years old and he's talking about what he wants to do. I go and try anything you remotely have an interest in. And after you realize that, hey, I want to see this through no matter what happens. If they never paid me $1 to act or do whatever you want to do, then you'll continue to do it and you'll eventually make money from it. I go, when I walked back into my gym, because I had already started like doing personal training stuff, I go, this feels like home. Yeah. This is where I want to be. And if I don't make any money, which you will not, you know, just as well as I do.
You will not for a while.
For a long time, but you'll continue to do it even if you did it for free. Well, then you found what your passion is, and then you'll eventually make money from that.
I completely agree with you. I think sometimes that whole I don't want to say this to talk people away from being organized or journaling, or if it works for you, fantastic. But I remember I tried creating a 20-year plan, 25 years ago.
You would have never thought about it like this.
Never.
No.
And and even now I wish I can find it. Yeah. I probably can, but I would imagine it's like this big graph of scribble scrabble. And, but the reality is 25, 26 years ago, if I described what I'm doing now, I wouldn't even understand because the stuff didn't exist. It's like, all right, Kenny, you're gonna host an event and you're gonna be going, you're gonna be doing virtual events and paid media spend and you're gonna be going on Zoom calls and you're gonna be hosting communities on Facebook. And you're like, what are you talking about? Yeah. Like, what are you like? You're speaking Korean to me right now. This doesn't make any sense. Yeah. That's the beauty of it, and that's a trait that I wish more people embraced. Get involved in something because it feels right. Like if you're doing something to make $1 billion, great, but there's no guarantee you're going to make $1 billion. And
you're going to probably give up halfway through because you're like, this is too hard. I don't want to do it.
This is bullshit. But passion and purpose, I think,
another story I like to tell, and this is the perfect moment for it. About 6-7 years ago, when I started to learn about manifestation and writing things down, one of the things that I wrote down was that success to me wasn't money. It was being respected by the people that I admire. And you were one of them.
Thank you.
And I remember writing that down. I'm like, I just want to be in a room with the people that I admire. Then I'll know where I'm supposed to be. And I tell everybody that. It's like, look for the people that you admire. Look for the people that you want to model yourself after. What are they doing? How are they doing it? And if you could get in the same rooms as them and they respect you, I mean, that's the game changer.
You understand adding value though. Mm-hmm. So most people don't. Most people are looking at what's in it for me. I couldn't imagine how many people are trying to contact Joe Rogan to get on their podcast.
Oh yeah.
Right. Like everyone's like, they're opportunistic. Like they want, and I understand you want to do better in life, but I see in you some really good, amazing qualities, but one of them is that you're trying to over deliver on value. And I think that's a lost art. Most people are coming and going, what's my session price? I couldn't imagine the amount of free sessions you've done, the giveaways, the amount of people you've comped, come on in. And you know what? a big percentage of those burn you, right? Like they end up never paying dividends.
No.
But the ones that do and that end up working out, those are investments. Those are long-term investments.
10x.
How do you think that's played a role in the build of your career?
I always try to lead with the olive branch, right? I always try to be the one who's willing to go further than the other person. I remember looking in the mirror, and I tell that this is my number one story. I remember looking in the mirror when I was in 8th grade, and I was 225 pounds or 12, 13 years old. I'm looking in the mirror. I got this huge belly. I got squared glasses. I am the epitome of like what a comic book nerd would have been.
I love it.
And I'm about to go to this 8th grade birthday party. And that day at school, everybody was talking about like making out with girls. No one even talked to me about it. I go to this party and I'm like, I wasn't even an option on the menu. And I remember going home and looking in the mirror and just being like, all right, as soon as I could take control of my life, I will. Because no one wants to hear my problems. Nobody gives a shit. The only one who's going to change my reality is me. And there's always people waiting on it.
It's wild that you thought that at that age.
Yeah.
That you actually looked at yourself and you were like.
And I like hated
And I hear
myself.
people having those moments too. It's like, it sounds very mature, but it does happen for an 8th grader.
It's the David Goggins story too, right? Like when he looked in the mirror and he's like, I need to change this.
Yeah.
I'm going to do whatever. And it kind of hardens you. It's like, it's that kick in the ass that most people need, whether it's you hear it from a doctor or you hear it from yourself in the mirror. You have to come to the realization that if you want your life to improve, then you need to do it.
Right.
And then when you improve your life, now you can go and improve other people's lives.
This episode of Stronger is brought to you by David Protein. Packed with 28 grams of protein, only 150 calories, and 0 sugar, David Protein bars are great for staying full and hitting your protein goals without added junk. So in my community of thousands of people, they always ask me, can you recommend a bar? And in the past, I haven't, because I never liked the ingredients that went into a bar. I thought they were chalky. I thought they were high in sugar, and they used a lot of sweeteners and binders. David Protein bars are the first product that I've ever used that I feel like I can eat every day. And I recommend them to all of my clients. I've tried all the flavors and I absolutely love them. But the one flavor I feel like I keep going back to is that chocolate chip cookie dough. I'm just a huge fan of that flavor to begin with. So now that David has that flavor, I feel like that's what I'm grabbing every single time. Right now, David is offering my listeners a deal to buy 4 cartons and get the 5th free at davidprotein.com/stronger. That's davidprotein.com/stronger to get your 5th carton for free. Humans aren't perfect, but David is. Give this product a try. I do believe this whole mental mindset approach, you have to have faith in things. You have to have a positive outlook on things. It's all we can do.
There will be people who want to tear you down.
Always.
The bigger and better you get.
Always.
How many people have been like, oh, he's a bullshit trainer. Oh, he's this, he's that.
It's always going to happen. It's always, you want to know, it's always going to happen. I didn't choose to get into the celebrity training world. That's not something I decided to pick. It was an opportunity, and I'm glad I took it. But I think when that term kind of got stuck to my name, I think, there were some people, you told me once, some guy was like, he never worked on the floor. And I'm like, I started hysterically laughing. I'm like, I don't know a trainer that's worked more than me on the floor. Like, how could you
I
even
said
say
that. I go, I know him pretty well. I'm pretty sure he
that
did.
He's done. He's probably
I'm like,
given away more free sessions than you've ever done.
I was like, you don't do what he did and not have to.
So
earn
that
your
stuff
stripes.
doesn't bother me. I think maybe in the beginning I would hear it would. Now I'm very comfortable with where I am.
And I think there's a lot of people, again, like where people would fall short is that they'll start hearing these things and it'll start to tear them down.
Yeah. How do you talk to your people? How do you talk to your community, your clients? Because I know you're getting people who show up saying, I read this in this magazine or so-and-so told me this. Because I think you're very good at this. I think they're a great trainer. I think they're very smart trainers, very great. They're great trainers and they're great coaches. And I think the training aspect of it, I think is the person who understands the science, anatomy, kinesiology. They understand how to apply the movements, when to do it. I think that's one element. I think the other element is, how can you get the most out of them? I think you're both, but I also know that coaching piece is something that is probably, I would say I'd put you ahead of most on.
I appreciate
Right.
it. Yeah.
That coaching element, when you can really, and you see it in your social media because you
Mhm.
see that you care and that you're trying with every client to just, what can I get out of this person in a good way? It's not about going as hard as you can go, but how do you motivate them like that?
Well, I think that's at the core of it, right? You have to actually care. You have to want to see them win. I know if I could get this guy to win, then that's going to only make my life better. Seeing him smile, making him feel better. And even with my family, like I was so tempted to let all my cousins and everybody come to the new gym for nothing. But I go, I need to get them to invest in this and believe in themselves. So if they're going to make the investment, if they see the value in that, right? And I said, I was like, I'm going to put it in an account and just give them their money back. When they finally fall in love with it, because I want them to fall in love with it, because it's what happened to me and it changed my life forever. When I fell in love with fitness, and now it's a non-negotiable. It's like brushing my teeth, taking a shower.
Just give them a friends and family. Give them a friends and family.
Yeah.
Don't return. But you've got to. This is what gets difficult about business, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's people always ask me, why don't you open your hometown? You'd kill it. I'm like, I can't. I'm friends with everyone. Like I'd be out of business. I'd be dead. At least you don't have to be there.
Yeah.
But those are the challenges. It's of being in business.
But you actually have to give a shit. You have to want to see them win. And I think that's another key to life is I want people to be like, hey, I met so-and-so, or I met this brand. For instance, one of my clients who had lost his job. He was working in the music industry, was at Strong last year. He doesn't really like to work out. I mean, he kind of comes and goes a little bit. He got a job working with Kinetic, that ketone company.
Yeah.
Making a nice chunk of change a year. He loves the job, loves me. And he's like, that changed my life. Like, I want to see him win. I want to see the ketone Kinetics win. I want to see people win. I genuinely want to see people win, especially the people around me. The people who believe in me. If somebody's tomorrow like, oh, hey, Don's podcast got 8 million downloads, I'd be like, I love it. Yeah, I want to hear that. Yeah. Like I don't understand why people want to see people lose so much, because at the end of the day, even here in the city, if there's a coffee shop that goes out next to my gym, I'm like, well, now that's going to be vacant for a while. So it's less people in the area. So there's a less chance of people coming to my gym. I want to see people win. I went downstairs day one, the guy who owns the juice place underneath me. I said to him, I go, how quickly do you want to go out of business? He's like, why? I go, you got this cheap, shitty protein here. I was like, I go, you could upsell for creatine. We sat there for 2 hours ordering stuff on Amazon. I was like, listen, I have some stuff upstairs. I'll bring it down. Try this. Give it to your clients. Let me know what they think.
How'd it work out for him?
Dude, he's killing it. He's got 6 locations now, but we became instant friends. I don't know the fucking guy from a hole in the wall.
Right.
But he was like, why are you doing this? I'm like,
because you understood the value of the environment that you're in.
Yeah.
And you understood street traffic. And you also understood that if you go in and you give value to someone who's right underneath your roof, right?
100%.
That he's going to say, you need to check this guy out.
Exactly.
But that's what I mean by value. You did something very unselfish. The guy could have told you to go jump off a bridge or whatever. Then you move on and you probably forget about him in a few months. But you went and you gave value and you did something very unselfish to now you have an advocate.
We have a great,
you have a good friendship. Yeah.
Well, what we did was my landlord, and this is another reason why it's impossible to run a business in New York.
What, landlords?
God.
Don't get me started on
so
that.
There was an empty flagpole for the past 2 years hanging outside on 5th Avenue in 28th Street. And I went to my landlord. I was like, hey, could I hang a flag out there? He's like, yeah, $2,000 a month. I go, $2,000?
That should have been negotiated. That wasn't negotiated in your lease?
No, there was another space that had it. That golf space had it, but they moved out 2 years ago. So now the flagpole was empty. He's like, it's $2,000 a month. I go, come on. That's like,
seriously?
Yeah, it's a fourth of my rent. And you want me to give you another $2,000 to have a flag? I go, give it to me for $1,500. And he's like, all right, fine. You can have a $1,500. I went downstairs to the juice guy. I go, hey,
do you want to split this with me?
You want to split the flag with me? And I was like, we'll do some work. And he's like, done. Let's do it.
$7,500 a piece.
So now I have, which I think is a pretty cool thing. I got a giant flag, an 8-foot flag hanging on 5th Avenue with my logo on it. You know, I mean, it cost me more. If I had the same space in New Jersey, they would just give me the flag.
But it's also, I think it's an important milestone for you as well. Because when that flag goes up, that's a representation of everything that you've done.
Yeah.
Because everything that you've done has gotten you there. And I think people don't realize the importance of that. Sometimes I always say, like, I used to work at I used to intern at a brokerage house back when I was in college. I wanted to learn the financial system a bit, and I wanted to learn the market. So I went and I got an internship at a company called Payne Weber, which became UBS.
Oh, wow.
And I remember investing in some stock before the tech era, like right before AOL and Amazon exploded. I made like a lot of money in like a summer, and I was like, shit, I'm going to be a broker. Like this is ridiculous. Like I just made 30 grand this month off of one stock. Like not realizing, you know, how it ends up. But he turned to me. I go, what do? Do I hold? Do I sell? And he goes, take a little off, touch and feel it, get your investment back. And I heard that terminology, touch and feel. And it was like, when you start doing well in life, I think it's important to take a little bit off and to basically recognize and take a deep breath. Like, hey, we're doing all right. Like it's tough. I'm not in the clear here, but we've got to sit here and we've got to pat ourselves on the back and go, look, this flag's a representation of a dream. It's a representation of a lot of hard work. Every time I look at it, I feel a sense of pride. And I think that flag does a lot more for you when entering the building than you probably think.
Well, yeah, I mean, it changed the way I look at myself and what I've built. And my brother was one of the people who brought it up to me just last year. I'm like, God,
is he older or younger?
I have an older brother and a younger brother, but my older brother's always been like kind of my Yoda.
Yeah.
I go to him for a lot of shit. But I had said to him, I go, I can't figure out how to get this event to like just sell out. The gyms are such a pain in the ass. I was like, nothing I've ever done in life has ever been a home run. I've never done anything that I'm like, well, that was easy. You know, you hear about all these people like, oh, they created. I'm like, between the podcasts, I've had 4 gyms now up to this point. The clothing, everything. I've never had anything just pop off. But I continue to dig and dig and dig. And it's been over 10 years that I've been working for myself. My brother's like, you haven't gotten a check from somebody.
Yeah, no, dude, listen, it took me 20.
Yeah.
You're not even halfway there. Yeah, it's like, but that's what I want you to feel good about. I'll never forget. I think the LA Dodgers, it might've been 88 or 89. They played the Oakland Athletics in the World Series. And the Oakland Athletics, I think, were going to the World Series with like one of the most powerful, you know, offensive teams ever. And the Dodgers were going in with the weakest. Like they had Kirk Gibson, who could barely stand on one leg. That's when he hit the game-winning home run, you know, to win that series. And I think the Dodgers, that World Series, had one of the weakest teams in like World Series history. They won the World Series. And afterwards, Lasorda said, we're not a power hitting team. We're not a high average hitting team. We manufacture runs. We'll bunt, we'll get on, we'll steal, we'll hit a single. We'll squeak one through the minute, manufacture. And I think a lot of successful businesses early on get built on bunts and singles and doubles. And really, it's been what's made my career up. Like I haven't hit the grand slam yet, where you're sitting there and suddenly like you exit and they're like, we're wiring 20 million to your account right now. I'm like, oh, that's fantastic. Like, nice. Okay. Like a lot of our clients go through, that's fine. But I'm a believer, keep hitting those singles and doubles and manufacturing, and then things start compiling.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I was just watching the story. Who's a golfer just won?
Rory McIlroy.
Dude, what an incredible story.
Unbelievable.
And
I golfed with him once, by the way.
Really?
I shot a video series with him, and then we played 18 at Shinnecock.
No shit.
We walked 18 together.
Wow.
Not Shinnecock, National, before he played in the Open at Shinnecock, which might have been 18.
But he'll miss like the easiest shots, make crazy shots. Like
he's a human.
Yeah. And it's so impressive. He's like, what I like about him and his whole story is that he is very human. He's very relatable.
Yeah.
You know, there was a guy in CrossFit years ago, this guy, Jason Khalipa.
Oh, I've heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah. Who was very similar. Like he would always go head to head with like Rich Froning. Rich Froning like never made a mistake. He's just like,
he's like so technical.
The Terminator.
And like perfect.
Everything he's done is perfect. Where Jason would like win an event and then completely bomb the next one. And you're like,
like how did this happen?
Yeah. How are you so good, but so bad at the same time?
It's kind of cool to see.
Yeah. But you relate to that because you're like, well, I'm very similar. Where it's like, I'll do something. I'm like, oh, that was a complete flop.
Yeah.
And then other things you're like, okay, I'm sort of winning. and you just kind of rack up wins over life and see where you
I think
wind up.
that's Rory. And I've worked with a lot of tour players, and I know a lot of tour players, and he's the one guy I'm always pulling for because But again, his team. I met his team. His team's exceptional. The people around him are exceptional.
So
He's
important.
had I'm walking down the course with his swing coach from when he was like 10. He was there with him before he surrounds himself with good people. And I think it's almost a lost art. Like people you want to develop good social media, yet you're hiring, no offense, a 21-year-old who has no experience, who has no eye for this stuff. And you're like, oh, well, let's just have her do Twitter. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is your marketing.
Yeah.
Put a little more love into this.
Yeah. Do you think your success, a lot of your success and how you look at business and relationships has all stemmed from your family, like the way you were raised?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has. I think this is becoming, you're interviewing me now. I feel bad.
No, because I feel the same way. Like
yeah.
my dad would always tell us, we don't have money, but we have family.
Yeah.
And I always valued relationships, my friends, my family. And I see a lot of similarities in you. It's like where you've cultivated this team around you. Like everyone, like even your wife,
she's a machine.
She's
someone that I wish I had involved in business earlier. But but when my first day of work, I was 7.
Mm-hmm.
They had me in a little tuxedo sweeping floors. And then I think I really seriously started working when I was 12.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time I was 15, I was practically working full time during school and sports.
Yeah.
I got to see this blue collar type mentality, this catering hall mentality where you'd see weddings and sweet 16s and bar mitzvahs, and we'd be turning rooms around, 3,000 dinners in a night. And my dad and I work until 3 a.m. and my grandfather in there, my uncle in there. And when you fucked up, oh boy, there was no, let's talk about your feelings.
No.
Get in the office. And I'd be sitting there and I would just take it, which was a tough thing for me because when I got into business, I thought that was what needed to get projected. And I learned quick that that wasn't. But that for me, that place that I worked at was probably, that might have been my college. Granted, I went to a university and I graduated and I played ball. That was my school for me because I just understood what it was like to roll up your sleeves and get dirty and cleaning a kitchen in August at 3 a.m. that had food and disgusting, and sweeping the trash room every morning. It's disgusting. Well, but that was some of the greatest moments of my younger life growing up. I'm like, I can't be any more grateful I have that. If I didn't have that, if you went back and you wanted to change that and have me work in a candy store, I'd be like, no. Like I fucking lose everything now. Be done.
No, I feel the same way. I had to get a job, when all my friends were going down the shore on the weekends. I was pushing a lawnmower.
Yeah.
Because my parents are like, get to work. And I'm like, all right.
You want money, you work. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what it was. It's like if I wanted to go hang out and have money, I had to go.
Did they find it as a way to keep you out of trouble also? Did they feel like work was, because maybe not for you, but for me, my parents were like, we don't want him to get in trouble. He's got to go. And they were kind of right, but.
No, my dad was just such a blue collar guy that he just thought like you're never going to stop working. So keep working. And put your head down and just do what you have to do. And that's how I always looked at work.
Well, listen, we're going to take some questions now if you're cool with it.
Yeah.
Our first caller is Kirsty from Australia. Let's go meet her.
This is sick.
As a personal trainer running my own business, I work out of a gym, run workshops, retreats, and I'm just expanding online as well. Something I know you both have experience working sort of brick and mortar and then going online sort of through the pandemic and things. I'm sort of really focused at the moment on building a strong online community that reflects the values that I really care about for my in-person clients. So my question would be, what are like the top 3 things you would recommend each for creating a really well-connected and engaged community, both online and in person? And sort of how can I empower my community members to help cultivate that culture and embody that themselves and sort of further those values that I want to instill?
I think it's a great question. I want you to kick it off. Come on, you're the guest here.
Well, for me, I think the most important thing is letting everyone know in your community kind of that you live, eat, sleep, and breathe what you're doing, and that you genuinely care about their success. I think a lot of times when people want to move from in-person to online, they think they need to have tens of thousands of people. The game online is always, we need more volume, we need more volume. But if you have 5 people or even 3 people, it doesn't matter. Add as much value to those 3 people, and then those 3 people will be your marketing tool to get more people. But you have to genuinely care about their success and want them to succeed. So whether you have 3 people or 103 people, really show them that you want them to grow, because people are coming to you. At the end of the day, these are other people in need who are like, hey, I want to take my money, the money I work really hard for, and put it into you because I want you to help me. And if you're not helping them, if you're not facilitating what they need, then eventually they're going to go somewhere else. So how do you build more value into what they need? And don't even worry about the money. Like, the money will come when you do a really good job at what they're asking you to do for them.
I think it's obviously, it's a tough thing to follow when you're trying to pay bills, but he's 100% right. I mean, the one thing in my career that I never frayed from is that I didn't focus so heavily on the dollar, even though I needed it. Let's be very clear. I mean, we all need money. But going into the session, you know, it was never really about even meeting a new prospect. I would sell, but I would sell differently. I wouldn't try and come in with this hard sell or push them. I wanted my performance to speak words. So going into that screening process, that initial session, my line has always been, I needed them, not I wanted them. I needed them to leave the session feeling like I was a necessity over a luxury. Because initially people look at us, all 3 of us, and they go, all right, you know, is it in the budget? And, oh, it might be expensive. And no, I didn't want that. And him and I kind of always live by this. We want to get in front of someone. It wasn't about giving them a good workout. It was about giving them an experience. It was about giving them a path, an area to grow, and a future in something, and getting them to believe in things that they never thought were capable of. And that takes a special person. That's why when I was hiring trainers, I never wanted to hear that they were into acting. I wanted, like, what do you want to do with your career? I want to I want to learn from you. I want to be here. I want to be a sponge. I want to work with people. I want to improve lives. And you know what? It doesn't change from brick and mortar to digital. That's the mistake people make. Brick and mortar, you're building it one by one. And in the beginning on digital, you're building it one by one. He was right. Everyone I don't have many followers. You have 500 people following you right now, whatever you're known. How many followers do you have?
It's just under 800 at the moment.
You have 800 people that, imagine sticking yourself in a room with 800 people. That's a big room. And now you have an opportunity to influence them into changing their lives. And that's, people don't think of it. They're like, oh, wow, I wish it was 80,000. I wish it was 8,000. I wish it was 800,000. Focus on those 800 people. That multiplies really quickly. So answering DMs is the same way as walking over to someone in the brick and mortar and saying, how can I help? And that's what you got to do. Like, it sounds funny when you're on the toilet, it doesn't matter. Like, focus on changing their lives. That's the one thing that Kenny and I, there's a lot that we agree on, but that was the one thing I think we're the most similar in regards to.
Well, I mean, I always look at you when you have all these you had all these celebrity clients, and I go, what value does somebody like a Ryan Reynolds see in Don? He doesn't need this fucking guy from Long Island to take care of him. Right?
Definitely needs me.
He saw value, and now you're just as important to him as everybody else on his team.
I hope so, yeah.
You know, I try to facilitate the same idea, whether it's a Ryan Reynolds or it's a guy who comes in off the street who might work at the bakery down the block. I still want to see him succeed. If I get him to become a better version of himself, well, then he's going to tell everybody he's friends with and everybody he works with, hey, this guy really changed my life. I enjoyed being around him. And now you become more valuable. So adding value to yourself is by adding value into their lives.
I mean, try and become, like, you want to become the conversation piece at dinner.
Yeah.
You know, you really do. And whether it's virtually, whether it's like, if you can get someone to improve and they walk into a restaurant or a room and people say the magic words to them, oh my God, what happened to you? Like, that is a complete reflection of you, because they're going to be like, oh my God, I found this amazing woman. She's an incredible coach. Oh my God, I found her online. I shot her a message. She sent me like a paragraph back. Like, she's changed my life. Like, I can't even, now do that times 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's magic. That's amazing.
You know, living that lifestyle, right? Like, people want to look at you and be like,
Yeah.
That's my trainer. That's my friend. That's my coach, whatever it may be. I mean, you want them to look at you and see a part of themselves in what they want to build.
You are your
And
business card.
Yeah.
You are your business card. You have to lead by example.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I got started. I never wanted to work with, my goal was, I swear to God, my goal was never to work with a celebrity. Never once in my life was I like, oh, I want to work with a professional athlete or celebrity. I just wanted a coach. But my first celebrity client was someone not far from you, Hugh Jackman. And it was all because he saw how I trained, how I ate, and how I carried myself.
Mm-hmm.
And he came over and he spoke to me about that. And I thought that was really powerful for me, because here's someone on the big screen that now was looking to me for some answers. And I was like, okay, like, this is what we have to do. And it was all about his experience. It wasn't about social media. It was about helping elevate him. And because of that, because I was protecting him and there was the trust, that's what allowed my career to snowball on that. It was all 100% of my career in brick and mortar was word of mouth.
I'd argue that Don, when he was training Hugh Jackman, actually looked better than Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
You said it, but I'll take the compliment. Thank you. Listen, good luck to you. And do me a favor. We're all on social media, right? Give us some updates. Shoot us a DM once in a while. Let us know what's going on. I mean, we'll remember who you are. It's always great to have a connection on that side of the world, but keep us posted. If there's any questions you need to ask us, fire away on our social media channel.
I will. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, and that was so helpful. Thank you, guys.
Good luck to you.
Thank you. Keep killing it.
Thank you.
We got one more guest. I think it's Sean Stafford. Is it Sean Stafford? This guy's been one of my challengers for a while.
Really?
Great dude. Sean, what's up, man? How you been? You all right?
I've been good, Don. How are you?
Doing well, man. I was psyched to have you on. I mean, you're my first repeat person ever. I think he might have been my first caller and my first repeat. This is big time stuff. Fire away though. What do you have for us?
Yeah. Kenny, I want to know what is on your workout playlist. You know, what amps you up?
Oh, right now, I have to admit, I'm doing a little throwback, which I hated the song when it first came out, but now I'm loving it. That Panda song by Designer. Oh, that Panda. I don't know why I heard it. I heard it the other day in the gym.
It just caught you.
Yeah, and I just have it on repeat. A lot of times, I have to admit, if I'm in the gym by myself, I work out in silence. I don't know why. It's
Sometimes
my time
it's
to
nice.
think.
It's peaceful.
Yeah.
It's peaceful.
The other night I was listening to, I like some oldies. You know, people think I'm a weirdo, but I like
like
old
50s? Like
50s.
Yeah. I got an oldies playlist that I just built. I love it.
I'll put on like Frankie Valli, you know, kind of radio and just let that play out.
Like soulful.
I love that stuff.
I love it.
I grew up on it, and like my parents only listened to stuff like that. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe I'm leaning into being a little bit older, but at the same time, I just enjoy that stuff. But yeah, I mean, obviously you could see the difference, right? Some of it's Panda. And then there's that other song. What was it? Some of the newer stuff. I mean, I'm not much of a pop song person, but there's a lot of people in my gym who love house music. Yeah. So I've been listening to a lot of house music.
Music's a great question, right? It changes so much, right? Because you just said 50s. I'll go from 50s to heavy metal, to Madonna, to Michael Jackson, to Lionel Richie. I listen to everything. I was listening to Lionel Richie on the walk over. I was like, oh, Lionel Richie's on. I like it.
I love Lionel Richie.
He's unbelievable.
Like Dancing on the Ceiling is probably one of, like, if that song's on, I'm letting it play the whole way through. I love that song.
You just can't not like him.
I'm putting you on the spot. What's the worst music to work out to?
I like country music, but like, working out to country music has just never been a thing for me. And there are people in the gym who love it. And then like reggaeton shit. Like I'm just not a reggaeton type of guy.
I love reggae, but working out to it,
yeah.
But I definitely country music I like, but I wouldn't work out to it.
I don't like working out to it. But I mean, if I really want to get after it, you know, what'll fire me up the most is obviously always like 70s, 80s rock, metal, you know. Yeah.
Any rap, hip hop in there at all?
Yeah. I love, actually, one of my top genres when it comes to workout music is like 80s, 90s hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, I love like LL Cool J. I like A Tribe Called Quest. I like
love Tribe.
Yeah.
You listen to like Nas and Mobb Deep and all that?
Yeah.
I love
so
all
I'll put on like A Tribe Called Quest radio and like let that play.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I love that stuff. But like LL Cool J and Run DMC, I love that shit. Yeah.
Awesome. That was fun.
Dude,
I didn't even realize, I mean, the time flew. I just knew with you it was going to be just a conversation, and I just think it's fun, and I could talk to you for hours. So thank you.
It is an absolute honor to be here.
Appreciate
So thank you so much.
Good luck with everything. The gym, you know, the event. Not saying you need my help, but you know, my door's always open. Call me if you ever need to bounce.
Don't worry, you're going to get a couple calls.
Trust me, I love
Don't
it.
worry.
Thank you.
The views, information, or opinions expressed in the series are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of Chip and Joanna Gaines, Binel Audio, nor Magnolia.